CWRS is a nonprofit charitable organization based in Calgary. That's mandate is to rehabilitate injured and orphaned wildlife in Calgary and the surrounding area, as well as to provide educational programs out into the community and volunteering opportunities.
So essentially the main base of our operations here at our facility is a wildlife veterinary hospital. So we're a licensed veterinary facility, but we only treat wildlife.
I'm the executive director, and I do all the things that really have nothing to do with the animals, so donor relations, volunteer relations. I run the education program. I started after Jen as a volunteer. I think I started in 2012, and then I was hired in 2013 to work here, so I've been working here for 3.5 years.
I started volunteering here in 2011 and quickly became a staff member and then became management. I am the animal care operations manager. Just essentially, I'm in charge of all the animals here and then the operations associated with the animals. So the enclosures, the site, and the staff that take care of the animals.
So most of the animals we receive are urban wildlife, although we do sometimes receive animals that come from outside of the city limits. There's over 400 species that live in Calgary alone. There's quite a variety and a lot of diversity in our clinic all the time. So he is our 28-year-old great horned owl. Great horned owls are a provincial bird in Alberta. He used to be our main education animal, so he would go out to schools and teach kids about wildlife. Now he's moved on, he's retired out of that program, and now he is our main foster father for great horned owlets. So anytime that we get baby owls in, we raise them until they're no longer nestlings, and then they'll go outside with him. And as they get older, their keratin development in their nails and their beaks starts to accelerate. So we have to do a lot of maintenance on his beak and talons. And as he gets older as well, the yellow of his eyes darkens. So when you see, we have a couple of younger owls, you'll see they're quite bright yellow eyes, and his, I like to call it urine colored, I say that it's just a little bit darker. Great horned owls are pretty amazing birds. We see them in a lot of different color hybrids. He's a pretty standard colored great horned owl. Ophelia is a peach phase and Oberon is a light phase. So Quilomena lives with us because she was found by a member of the public and was fed some pretty inappropriate food for a little while. And by the time she got to us, she was really undersized. These guys are nocturnal, so it's not very normal for her to be up during the day. She eats 3 times a day and she'll always come out for food. The transition between fall and winter is always hard for her, but because she's a native North American animal, this is normal for her. So we leave her outside to make sure that all of those biological and physiological factors that would change in her normal life are still changing here. So it prompts her a downy fur to grow. Their diet changes in the winter as well. We tried to prep her for release for almost a year, and then we realized it just wasn't going to happen. So she lives with us now. Here. We're quite unique in the city of Calgary. We're the only ones who do this. So we're really the only place for the public to bring injured and orphaned wildlife that they find. We were founded in 1993, and at that time our founder was doing sort of a research project in which they were looking at inmate rehabilitation and how that could relate to wildlife rehabilitation. We have since moved to be fully committed to the communities of Calgary and providing not only this wildlife rehabilitation service, but also important information for the public. We run a wildlife hotline. We receive over 5,000 calls a year. We receive over 2,500 patients every year. We have a partnership with many local vet clinics, especially the 24-hour ones. So if somebody finds an injured or orphaned animal after the hours when we're not open, they can take that animal to a 24-hour vet clinic, and those vet clinics will hold that animal for us until we can come and get it the next day. It helps if people conceptualize our organization as like an ICU for wildlife, which is pretty much what we are. So if you think if you were in intensive care, would you want people coming in and looking at you and pointing at you? Probably not. And it's even worse for wildlife because for them, contact with humans is exceptionally stressful, and that stress can literally kill them. So it's really important for our animals that they have the least amount of stress as possible and the least amount of human contact. And so we're not a sanctuary, we're not a zoo, that's not what we do. And I honestly don't think that people would want to see animals that are hurt.